Let's talk about hair. It's not your average conversation. It's not your average conversation about hair. Okay, guys, welcome to Main Talk Monday, a special edition of Main Talk Monday. Y'all know, y'all thought I was gone. Y'all thought I was gone for the season. Y'all thought I was gone, but I had to come back after all the hoopla has been going on with Monique. So let me give y'all just a moment to get in. Tonight is one of those nights where I'm bringing in my line sister, my sister, my my Sarah. Okay, Evelyn is in the room. Listen, we having a girl talk conversation about Monique and the bonnet conversation on tonight. So I could not just skip this conversation just because we were on hiatus. I had to come in. So let me go in and put this link out here and save it. And I have it out here. So tonight is one of those nights that y'all are all in an uproar about Monique and this bonnet conversation. I posted the bonnet conversation on the Main Talk page. I posted it on my Facebook page. And so many of you guys had so much to say that I just wanted to jump in and have a special Main Talk conversation because I could not let this pass me by. So for those of you guys who have not seen the Monique rant and rave about the bonnets, hello, Derek, I am going to play a snippet before we bring in our guests who are already in the studio. Hey, Sarah Brown. Sarah Brown is all the way from Houston, Texas, jumping in the studio to have this conversation about how do you feel about Monique telling women that, you know, we shouldn't go outside and hang out in the airport with our bonnets on and our pajamas. Do you agree with her? Do you disagree with her? Do you feel like she's violating your rights? Do you feel like who is she to say that? For those who have not seen the video, let me go ahead now and give you guys a taste of what she had to say as it relates to this. Let me go ahead on and see, can I share this? Let's see. Well, let me go back and share this. Hold on. Let me share this. Make sure I can share the computer sound with it. Okay.
My sweet babies. So, it took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment. And I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love. Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie. And I'm honored that y'all do that, right? But there are times where auntie got to talk to her babies and say some real shit. So yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta because I'm in Jackson, Mississippi now at Chuckles Comedy Club, right? And we got 3 shows tonight. We got a matinee at 5:30, then we got 7, then we got 10, right? And I'm excited. I always love going to the stage. So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them. And this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport. I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home? Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough shit out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I'm not saying you don't have pride, but the representation that you're showing, someone would have to ask you to know that you had it. So, my sweet babies, for the ones that do call me auntie, I love you for real. Even the ones that don't, I love y'all asses too. But the babies that say auntie to me, please listen to auntie. Always have pride in your representation of you. It's not to get a man. It's not, it is just your representation of you, my sweet babies. So I'm just giving y'all a warning. If I see you in the streets, in the airport, in the Walmart, and you got a bonnet on and you got slippers on and you looking like, what the fuck? Nikki gonna tap you and say, hey, baby girl, show you what you worth. Show you what you deserve. So all of those posts that you see celebrities putting out there saying, hey, queen, hey, queen, hey, queen, well, can we start putting it into action? So I'm asking our wiser sisters, when we see our little babies out there looking like they just don't care, and I'm not saying y'all don't, it looks like it. Can we just tap them and say, baby girl, you deserve more than what you're showing?
Okay. So that was the video. For those, I don't want to play the full thing in its entirety. You guys can go back and look at it. But when I posted this, I had so many comments. And one of my co-hosts tonight, King, my sister, she said, I think it feeds into the stereotypes of how other races view us. It's extremely tacky. The elders used to always advise us not to go out in public looking crazy. Some surely are turning in their graves. The other side is people do what they want. And so, King, I'm going to bring King into the conversation. I'm bringing you into the conversation. So tell me, after watching it again, what were you feeling? Why did you feel like you felt that made you want to write about that? You didn't really agree with that. Or it kind of feeds into the stereotypes.
I feel that way because, in my opinion, I equate it with underwear. Okay, you wouldn't wear your panties out in public. You would, well, the men do sag. I don't agree with that either. But it's to me, it reflects pride. And since we're in such a racially charged environment right now, I just think as a people we can do better. Now, first and foremost, you do what you want. I'm not. My opinion is my opinion, your opinion is your opinion. You live how you want to live, I live how I want to live. But I just think we can do better. There's whenever my 16-year-old son comes to me trying to, succumb to a trend, if you will, I have him research it and see where it comes from. So I looked up the bonnets, and in some cultures it's a religious thing, but with Blacks, it was used as a during servitude when we were slaves. Our ancestors were slaves, and they made Blacks wear the bonnets on their head. So my opinion stems mostly from that, on how it looks and how that the new thing has transpired throughout history and where we are today.
That's okay, so you're saying that you agree with her that we shouldn't be out in the airport with our bonnets on.
I do, but first and foremost, now I'm grown. You can't tell grown folks nothing. You do what you want to do. That's just my opinion. Now, I don't agree with her tapping people on the shoulder, because you may not want to do that.
Right. That
if you know the person, pull them to the side, but going up to a random stranger, tapping them on the shoulder, trying to pour into them. Some people, some people ain't made like everybody.
Exactly. Everybody ain't from Chicago. Some people, I'm from Chicago. You're not gonna tap me on my shoulder. Well, one of the things that Monique said is that, and for you guys who want to join the conversation, in the copy of the post of this particular show, there is a link if you want to join the studio audience and come in and say something and express your opinion. But there was another video, and it's all on the main talk page, guys, that Monique said that when she was coming up, that um, she was tapped on her shoulders by Patti LaBelle and tapped on her shoulders by someone else saying, hey, I know what you're trying to do. And because I know what you're trying to do, you need to maybe release some of that weight. Go ahead and lose some of that weight. And she said, although she was in her feelings, they didn't say it to her with roses and all of that, but she had to suck it up. And so do you feel like as a society, before I bring Evelyn in, do you feel like as a society, we just are at a place now where can't nobody tell us nothing? Because we used to be able to talk to the kids down the street. You know, when we grew up, if you got in trouble, somebody down the street can say, oh, I'm gonna take care of you and tell your mama. But now we can't, we don't even know our neighbors nowadays. It's like, do you feel that we are extra sensitive about this subject? You know, because it's like you said, the pride, and we do say queen, and we do understand that the generation is different, and we understand that this new generation are wearing shoes that look like house shoes. And they come to work with those shoes that look like house shoes. And if you come in my office, I told some of the young people that work with me, like, you know, I just, it just doesn't, because it looks like a house shoe to me, I don't want you to wear it. But they're like, it's not a house shoe. How do we bridge the gap between this generation who feels like it's okay to wear a bonnet out and pajamas, not just a bonnet out and pajamas, and not feel like we're judging?
Well, here's my thing, okay? And I'm going to take you back to Henry County, Alumni Chapter 2008, okay? Remain teachable.
Right, exactly.
Okay? Right. Remain teachable. Now, when your name is on the moniker, you run the show. And when it's not, it's not, okay?
But I think the real thing is that, and I'm getting ready to bring Evelyn into the stream, I think the real thing is that, are we losing? Where are we losing it that we feel like bonnets are okay? Do we feel like it's okay because now we have the Bonnet Chronicles? Remember, Tammy Roman started the Bonnet Chronicles, and that's a big thing. Do you feel like that young people feel like it's okay? Evelyn, join in the conversation. Welcome to Main Talk. Evelyn Brown, all the way from H-Town. Evelyn, I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Evelyn. Let's see. Yeah, make sure your mic, we can't hear you. Make sure you're not on mute, or your volume is up on your phone, on your computer. We're gonna bring you out, Evelyn, just for a second, so you can go ahead and just get that fixed. Pat says it's poor self-esteem. I answer, you on here watching, click the link, join in, click the link in the post, join in. I want my old, they say, I want my old man back. I want my old man back. Come join the conversation. I answer says we are stubborn and stiff-necked people, but the moment we don't give our assistance and wisdom, they say we don't bridge together. We still have to be our sister's keeper. Julie says, I think people got relaxed during COVID.
Extremely.
But Julie, but even outside of more than the COVID lockdown, these people were walking around with bonnets way before that. No, I answer, really, click the link and join in, come into the studio.
What I think is that people, I think as a society, we're losing the bigger picture. Like we Black people and Asians we're all intertwined in the Black awareness, Asian awareness month, and so forth. And I think we always need to be mindful of that, how we carry ourselves. I'm not saying that we need to be fake, be who you are, do what you do, but still remember there's a bigger picture that's going on. And if we're trying to continue to shape ourselves, and be invited to the table in some situations, I think we need to make sure we carry ourselves in a certain way so we can get invited. Like Black people are powerful. You can't tell me that we're not magic. And it's like when we go in the stores, looking any kind of way, it goes back to what your mother used to say when you were little. On Sunday, you're going to wear them patent leather shoes and you're going to shine them up with some Vaseline. I want your best.
Right. Well, do you think? But do you think it leads back to parenting? Let me see. Can I get Evelyn back in? Evelyn, let's see. Can we hear you? Evelyn, are you there? Oh, I can't hear you. Evelyn, remove out of the studio and then come back in. So leave out and click the link and come back in. So leave the studio and let's see if that will work. Ayanta said she can't come in right now. She said, because I'm stirred up. Well, Lisa.
Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in. Come on in. Lisa said, I think it's a personal choice of how anyone presents themselves to the world. What works for one doesn't necessarily work for others. If we are so busy telling others what they ought to do without having first walked in their shoes or know the persona of a person, you are distracting from your own life, focusing on others. Now, what do you feel about that? See, I kind of disagree. I just feel like we as a society, and I want to be like kind of non-biased here. I just want the people to kind of talk and come in. I just kind of feel like we as a society that we lean towards everything else that is okay. But when it comes to the real correction, that we feel like that we don't want correction. Going back, Ricky Smiley said that, in a world like today, that we can't voice our opinions. He said that if you voice your opinions for someone like him, he said that I'm going to go on the side of Monique. He said they probably are going to cancel my show. But does it make a difference that she didn't scream? She didn't yell. She said it in a very, very nice way. Mm-hmm. She wasn't, she was just really trying to just really be really nice about it. And, I think the biggest thing that maybe got people stirred up is that she said that we were going to tap them on the shoulders. I think that's the most thing that got people stirred up, outside of her just talking about it, that she was trying to get people to tap people on the shoulders. Because if I don't know you, then, we live in a society now that we don't want to tap people on the shoulder because we don't want to correct anybody. But I have to say it bigger than that. We all we got. So constructive criticism does help make us better. And no one, what did it say? Oh, now, maybe that's a typo. No one, and no one know it all. I stand with Monique. Exactly. Teeny say, I agree with Monique. Okay. Let's see. Veronica said, let's see. No. Teeny said, I wouldn't tap anyone on their shoulders. Right. Not tap anyone on their shoulders. But I think what she was trying to say, I think we took it literal, guys. I don't think she was just trying to say, go out randomly and tap people on their shoulders. I think what she was saying, and she said it clearly, that those people who are in our community, right? Those young people who come by your house, those young people who your kids bring over and you see them going out with a bonnet on, when you know them, say something to them, because it starts with us in our community. I think that's what she meant versus just going out. I think we really took it literally, but we know that we can have people over our house. That's why I wanted Ayanta to join the conversation, because she the main one. If a child comes over her house, she gonna tell them what to do. But a lot of us, we don't even want to tell somebody else that our child brings over to the house. We don't want to tell them anything. Evelyn, let's see, can we bring you in? Evelyn, are we here now? Oh, Evelyn, I'm so sorry that we can't hear you. Oh my God. You're not on mute, are you, Evelyn, on your sound? You're not on mute, are you? Do you have your volume turned up? Oh Lord. Evelyn, we wanted, because I wanted them to hear the juicy stuff that you said. But Julie said, tell Evelyn to turn her mic up. Julie said that Monique had a heart of love. Her intent was good. And I agree with you, Julie. I had to say, hey, Evelyn, but we can't hear you. Her intent was good. Evelyn, I'm going to just bring you out of the screen. But if you can jump in and say something to see if we hear you. Teeny say, I have seen the same attire on Monique that Monique is speaking of in the grocery store. Correct. I think the whole thing about it is that, so we got some private chats back here. Oh, Evelyn saying, mic test pass. I'm on my laptop, not on mute. Good evening, everybody. Evelyn, I don't know what's happening, but we can't hear you. But I think I really wanted to jump in with this conversation because a lot of people are clapping back at Monique. And as everyone on here has said, is that her intentions were good. And I think that we don't want to, I think we just don't want to show up sometimes. I think it's easy that we have gotten as a culture at a place where it's easy for us to just stand back and look and let somebody else do the dirty work. And Evelyn said Monique's intentions were good. Monique's intentions were good. One of the things Ricky Smiley said, you guys, and go back on the Main Talk page and look at the Ricky Smiley post. One of the things that he said was that in order in life, in order to be great, meaning Michael Jordan, in order for him to be a great basketball player, he had to have a great coach. In order for any good singer, Beyonce, to sell the millions of records and to become Beyonce, she had to have a coach. And that in today's world, we just don't want a coach. We don't want anybody to tell us anything bad. We don't want anybody to call us out on our shizit, as they say. We just don't want it, you know. But I, for one, want somebody to call me out on mine. I call my kids out, but there are a lot of parents who won't say anything to their kids about going out in a bonnet and pajamas. Is it satisfactory that it's the new fashion, King? Is it satisfactory?
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. I talk to my son about it all the time. You know, those who know me, Trey is 16, and he has these things for hoodies. Like he's always have a hoodie on his head. So I tell him, for safety reasons, you cannot go out with that hoodie on your head. Anytime you go in the store, you need to take it down. Not that he's wrong for it, but the people who are going to judge him and going to form opinions about him, they don't know that he's a straight A student. Right. They don't know that he read his Bible. They don't know that he's doing good, you know, volunteering and all that other stuff. They don't know that about him. So my thing, I don't want him, people to form unwarranted opinions about him. And I equate that bonnet the same way. When you look at somebody like that wearing a bonnet, they're going to assume things. They don't know what that person has going on at home. They don't know what their bank account looks like. And I just think as a people, again, because we're in these racially charged times, that we should be best.
Right.
We should be best.
We should be the best. Evelyn is saying we must show up. We are our sister's keeper. Who else if not one of us? She says, I'm not going to let a sister walk around with her slip hanging when the matter can be corrected. If I let her know, same scenario for everything else. I agree with you, Evelyn, on that. Pam said, I am a 60s baby. I remember I went out with my grandparents, aunts, etc. I would change my clothes from what I played in into something different than what I went to church in. When you travel on the bus, train, plane, etc., we were taught to go out and be presentable. I remember my grandmother telling me to make sure I wore clean underwear. I went to the Atlanta airport recently, and Monique wasn't lying. I'm a mom of 4 adult children. My girls nor my son fly with bonnets, do-rags, and blankets unless it's a night road trip. You have to teach your kids. And we do. I hate to say we just want to fight, but watch this. If white people tells us to do something, then we say they are racist.
Right.
And they are. But we are being a village and we need each other. So what you're saying, Kai, is we should be applause. We should be able to take the criticism, the criticism from each other. I wholeheartedly agree. But Veronica said, regardless of what your bank account looks like, why look like you have nothing? I really feel like it's a whole big generation gap. And I do feel like, those of us who grew up in a certain generation, like Pam said, she's a 60s baby, just like me. We grew up differently. But the children who are out in the airport wearing these things today, majority of them are, young adults, 17, 18, 19, in their 20s, and their parents, a lot of people have young parents and their parents don't, they don't say anything. And so
they didn't have nothing to fight for. Older people had something to fight for. Civil rights, women, equality, in the workplace. So I think it means something different for people depending on when you were raised. Your generation, just like you said, is different.
Right. Evelyn said it takes a village and each one of us are the village. Well, I'm glad that I just could not let the season, I know we were on break for Main Talk. I just couldn't. Everybody's talking about the bonnets. Everybody's making jokes about the bonnets. I want each and every one of you guys to go back to the Main Talk page. Look at what Ricky Smiley said. I wholeheartedly 100% agree with Ricky Smiley, is that we have to want to do better. It's always about, about our community. And sometimes we forget about our community. I was watching The Shy last night, episode 4. Is episode 3 of The Shy season 4. And they were talking about defunding the police and giving money back to the community to help our community. And there were some messages that were sent even in that episode about how we say we want to go in and help the community, but unfortunately, our community don't even respect our community. Teeny says, I have seen older women in bonnets, pajamas, etc. in public. Julie said it's more than about the bonnet. It's more about how we present ourselves to the world. Correct, Julie. It's about how we present ourselves to the world. I'm going to read one more. Ayanta said correct. I'm going to read one more, and then we're going to move to a close. Gidget said, my question is, would you wear a bonnet, i.e. pajama bottoms and slippers, to church, to a club, to a funeral, to a nice restaurant, to a job interview, and or to meet your boyfriend's fiance or husband's parents and family? If women can make the choice to dress differently for these situations and present themselves as best as they can in these environments, women can also choose to dress themselves appropriately to do everyday tasks in public. Oftentimes, we teach people how to treat / regard us by the ways in which we carry and present ourselves. Very good, Gidget. That is very factual and very well said. Let me see. Evelyn said Martin Luther King always had on a suit, a role model of professionalism, because Dr. Martin Luther King knew that when he came in, he couldn't give the white man no opportunity to think that he was doing anything else. And then Teeny said, exactly. So I thank y'all for tuning in. Now, so now I'm going to leave y'all with this one video. It was so funny to me because everybody has joined the bonnet conversation and everybody's talking about it on everybody's show. That's the reason why I said I can't let another Monday, well, this happened midweek. I couldn't let this Monday go by without having a conversation. So I'm going to share this with you guys just so you can laugh, because this is really, really, really funny. Let me go out here and share my screen. Oh, wait. Let me do it one more time. Hold on. I always have to make sure I share my audio.
And can we sing when she starts singing, honey?
You sure. Let me bring it all the way back. Okay.
Hey, Charlene. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm glad you could make it. Well, I got a seat for you and a water for you if you need one.
Anything from a friend.
Yeah, we out here. We expecting for it to be a big turnout. Because a lot of people don't know about, bonnet awareness. It's bonnet awareness month. And we thought we'd have a conference, and we really just want to ban this bonnet experience off of the nation. We want to lift it up off the nation, okay? And I was inspired because Jornessa come to me later on that day. We had that confrontation. And she said, Charlene, I didn't know. She said, I wasn't aware. So we started the Bonnet Awareness Conference just to kind of help the next generation to see, yes, we're not wearing our bonnets out. We're not wearing our bonnets out because it's out of order. Okay, guys? So hopefully we can lift that bonnet spirit up off the nation.
Yeah.
And women can represent themselves in a positive light. So we're just hoping that the women come out and they bring their daughters. Because we find that a lot of the women have their young girls, their young daughters wearing bonnets out as well.
Outside.
Yeah. And it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. What is that?
Bonnet, don't go outside.
Come on.
Say your bonnet, don't go outside. Listen. Oh, your bonnet, it don't go outside. I don't know why you want to wear your bonnet.
It don't go outside.
Oh, your little bitty bonnet.
It don't go outside.
I'll be seeing y'all at the gas station.
It don't go outside.
Even at the drive-thru.
It don't go outside.
Y'all showing up at y'all children's school.
It don't go outside.
Wearing
Don't go outside.
Big, big, fat, fluffy, fluffy bunny.
Don't go outside.
Bunny, 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 bunny.
Don't go outside.
Oh, bunny.
Don't go
You
outside.
done bought your little girl a little mini bunny.
Don't go outside.
And you big wanted this she little bunny.
Don't go outside.
Bunny, 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 bunny.
Come on,
Don't
Nat.
go outside.
Yo.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Bunny,
Come on. Come on.
don't go out.
Come on, Charlene.
So that was just a little funny something that your bonnet don't go outside. Thank you, King. King, tell everybody, King is the president. She's launching a new business, the Atlas. Tell everybody what the Atlas is all about before we go off.
Real quick, the Atlas blog will launch sometime in July. I'm putting the finishing touches on it. What it is, it's going to be a list, a blog, social media presence, detailing everything that's going on in the big city of the A, coming in July.
All righty. And with that being said, Evelyn, thank you. I'm sorry we couldn't hear you. Thank you for joining Studio Audience. Thank you guys for all of the comments. And remember, in the words of Charlene, can you harmonize with me? It don't go outside. I'll see y'all next time on Main Talk. Although we are on a season break, we will come in if we need to talk about something. So depending on what happened tomorrow, remember, hair affects our everyday life. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in the world of hair. But trust me, if it shows up, we'll be back. Y'all have a good evening. Bye, y'all.
Main Talk. Let's talk about hair. It's not your average conversation. It's not your average conversation about hair. You don't know like I know how to cut it, clip it, snip it, flip it, whip it, twist it, curl it, twirl it. Whip it, girl, whip it hard when you show it our hair. Blow it, grow it, wrap it, snap it, weave it, lock it, braid it. Girl, you can wave it, shade it. Just make sure that you save it.